Hello everyone. Today let us learn about the Khilji dynasty. You all must have seen the film Padmavat. You have also seen Alauddin Khilji over there. This Alauddin Khilji was one of the rulers of the Khilji dynasty. What is this Khilji dynasty? It is a king, a dynasty, a ruler who ruled the Delhi Sultanate. Let's learn this Khilji dynasty in detail. Now, if you see the Khilji dynasty, what happened there was we saw that slave dynasty, ma'am, how it started. So, the last ruler of the slave dynasty who was there was Kaikubad. This Kaikubad, what happened was the Jalaluddin Khilji killed Kaikubad, the last ruler of the slave dynasty. And therefore, now Jalaluddin Khilji became the emperor. He took the charge of the emperor. Now, later what happened was Jalaluddin Khilji became older and older, but the person did not leave the place of his sultan. Till the age of 70, he was there on the sultan's authority. But because of his age and his body could not support him, he could not go for wars and all. Therefore, he used to send his nephew Alauddin Khilji for wars and annexing the countries. Alauddin thought that if he is doing all the things and he is efficient of becoming the king, why should his uncle be the king further? Therefore, Alauddin Khilji murdered Jalaluddin Khilji and proclaimed himself to be the emperor. Let's learn about this Alauddin Khilji. This Alauddin Khilji is a very famous personality. He was defeated. He defeated the powerful Mongols. These Mongols are actually the Mughals, but as they lived in Mongolia at that time, they are called as the Mongols. They were called as the Mongols. So what happened was these Mongols were very powerful at that time, and therefore they used to always attack this Delhi Sultanate to take away Delhi from them. But this Alauddin was so brave. He defeated all the Mongols and came back. He conquered the territories of Malwa, Ujjain and Dhar and Chandera and Mandu. He conquered most of the North India. He had a very strong army. He paid the army in cash. He is also famous for very such points like market regulations, Deccan expedition, measures against nobility, military reforms and revenue reforms. Let's learn about each of them in detail. First are the market regulations. Alauddin Khilji is best known for his market regulations. Now, what he did was he set up three markets in the empire. That's the Delhi, which were called as the Shahi Mandis. The first market was for the food grains. The second market was for the costly cloth, and the third market was for the animals, the cattle, and the slaves. So in each market, each market there was one head appointed by him, who was called as the Shahana. Now, what Alauddin Khilji did was that he fixed the cost of all commodities. Whatever cost Alauddin told for the commodities, that much cost only has to be put up by the shopkeeper. He cannot keep the cost of the commodities according to himself. With this, what happened was the people could get the commodities at a very good cost. This was good for the people, but of course, this was sometimes becoming harsh for the shopkeepers too. Very strict punishments were given to whom was cheating. The one who reduced the weight and gave the goods in same price, or increased the price, an equal amount of flesh was removed from that body. So therefore, he was very strict about these things. Therefore, he was also said to be cruel by the people. But do you think Alauddin was incorrect? According to me, I think he wasn't incorrect. Because with this, he could set up a nice example. People would never do cheating, and the people who were there, the people who are in his empire, will enjoy a good life. And therefore, I think that market regulations were good enough. Next is the Deccan expedition. After conquering the bulk of North Indian kingdoms, Alauddin sent an expedition towards south with Malik Kafur, who was his general. Now, this Malik Kafur conquered the kingdoms like Devagiri, Varangal, Dwar Samudra, Madurai, but could not. But what he did was he just took the wealth from them. He defeated the kingdoms, but he did not annex them. Why did he not annex them? Because it would be difficult for him to control those South Indian kingdoms from the Delhi, which is central, very located in the north. He was interested in only draining the wealth from them, not to waste the money he took in just putting in them. So what happened was he defeated all the kings over here, and in at every year they had to pay tribute. Otherwise, Alauddin would do whatever he wanted to do with them. Let's learn about what the measures he took against nobility. Now, what happened that time was Alauddin Khilji, as he was a great ruler, many people or the many nobles who were there, they did not support him, and they also rebelled. This should not happen, and so that this should not happen, Alauddin Khilji took some reforms and measures against these nobility. The nobles were not at all allowed to hold parties, festivities, marriage alliances without the permission of the Sultan. Because why did he must have done so? If the noble does has a holds a marriage alliance with the another country, with the country against him, the information can be given, the wealth can be given, and such things happen. Because of the parties and festivities, also such things happen. Therefore, he told that if you want to do all this, you have to take permission of me. Then consumption of wine and intoxicants was also banned, because after taking wine and intoxicants, people just say out all the things. Therefore, he banned those. Gambling was forbidden, and gamblers were very strictly punished. He stopped paying the people and the army in land. He paid them in cash, because with the cash he could directly give up the money. But if he gave land, the land under his control was to be given to the people, and the people could do anything with the land. They could sell it to some another people or do whatever they wanted. Therefore, he did not pay in land, but he paid in cash. Established an efficient spy system to check the activities of the nobles, what the nobles were doing. Next are the military reforms. If you see the military reforms of Alauddin Khilji, what Alauddin did was he imported good quality horses and he branded them. He did not just import them but also branded them. This system of branding horses is called as the Dug. Now, why did he do so? Because the soldiers could have replaced the inferior quality horses with the good ones. This should not happen. So, Alauddin Khilji, he branded the horses. He introduced a Chehra system. That means he gave an identity card to every person, every soldier in his army. If the identity card was not with them, it was a proof that the person was not from the army of Alauddin. He himself approved all the recruitments to the army. He never told any other person. He did not trust anyone. He just did it himself. He paid the army in cash. Why? I told you back only. Next are the revenue reforms. Now, what Alauddin did was he brought all the land which was there in his empire. He took all the land directly under his control. Now, he measured the land neatly. He measured the land himself, and he also fixed the state share accordingly. Now, he increased the revenue from half to 1/3. We saw that he gave the money in cash. So now again he took also the money in cash only. He never took the money, he never took the land. He always took the money in cash. So let's learn about the political history of this Khilji dynasty. Just a minute, I'll adjust my camera. Yeah. So now let's start about the political history. The first one, as I told you, was Jalaluddin Khilji, the founder of the Khilji dynasty. Jalaluddin Khilji killed Kaikubab, the last one of the slave dynasty, and ascended the throne. Then Alauddin Khilji killed Jalaluddin Khilji, his uncle, and proclaimed to be the Sultan. Now, what happened was Alauddin Khilji, as he became older, he was dominated by Malik Kafur in his last days. Malik Kafur was very, very loyal to Alauddin. So, when Alauddin died, he supported and helped his son, he helped Alauddin's son and made him the Sultan. He always helped him as he was very loyal to Alauddin. But the Khusro Khan, who was the guard, killed Malik Kafur and the son of Alauddin. And this Khusro Khan was later killed by Ghazi Malik. Ghazi Malik now killed Khusro Khan and now became the empire. As Ghazi Malik was not from the Khilji dynasty, Ghazi Malik no more. Now Ghazi Malik ends this Khilji dynasty. Let's learn about the Ghazi Malik's dynasty. That is the Tughlaq dynasty in the next module. I hope you must have understood about Khilji dynasty. Thank you.